Hi, I am Sami Zahiwa. I am a university professor and researcher in cybersecurity. By this small video, I want to raise the awareness about a particular type of malware, potential damage of that malware called ransomware. And I'll be using a famous example of ransomware, which hit millions of users in the past few weeks, this so-called WannaCry. So WannaCry is ransomware, and a ransomware is, first of all, is a malware, a malicious software. A malicious software tries to infect machines and then tries to get a benefit out of that infection. That benefit can be stealing data, can be using that machine to launch other attacks like denial of service, and of course, it might be getting money. And ransomware is a type of malware that does that, which is getting money, in a very nasty way. So when it infects a machine, it will encrypt all the data files in that machine. So when you encrypt data files, the files will still be there, but they will not be usable. They will not be accessible. The system will be usable, the files will be there, but you cannot open those files. Now then it will display a message on the desktop telling the user, if you want your files back, you need to pay ransom. In that case, it's money, and we are talking about between $100 and $500. Now to add pressure, it will launch a timer, and once the timer reaches 0, it will start deleting files. Now to show you the full picture, I will show you now what happens from the attacker side and from the victim side in such an attack. Okay, so here I will be using a malware called or ransomware called jigsaw. So jigsaw is a ransomware that appeared in last year in 2016, and it did a lot of damage. So you have here the source code. It's written in C#, and you have the source files here. For example, you have the locker. This is the loop that will encrypt files, and as you see, it uses AES, which is basically a known cryptographic protocol, which is infeasible to crack. Okay, and then you have other files like config.cs, where you have configuration data about the ransomware. For example, here you see what is the extension of the file once they are encrypted, and then what this is the password for encryption, and then you have the message that will appear to the victim when the victim is infected. Okay, so what we're gonna do here, I will compile that file. Okay, and then once that, so it's generated here, so I will go to that file. Here it is, this executable. I will copy it because now you need to send it to the victim. So here I will copy it here, so paste it here, and then I will call it, let's say, game2.exe. Okay, and then I will have a web page here, and I will point that HTML file to HTML page to that ransomware, which is game2. Now if we go to the victim's machine, so the victim's machine here is this one. It's a Windows 7 machine. Okay, and here I will download that file basically. So I will simulate the fact that I will click on that link. So basically I will go to that page. Yeah, it's here. Okay, and then once I click on that link, so it's a typical page. When I click on that file on that page, it will ask if I want to download that file. So I will do save file, and I will save it. So here I downloaded the file, and I can execute it now. Now you see here, when I execute that file, it shows a message, a warning. Okay, so just keep in mind that typical ransomware will display a message. It will be different for WannaCry. So I will run that file and then run again. Okay, and now you see here PDF files. Now the ransomware is started encrypting files, and you see here now the PDF files are encrypted and they have the file extension. And now it is the files are being encrypted, and it will take time. The time it takes to encrypt the file depends on how many data files you have in your system. In my case, I have few of them. This is why it will not take that much, so a couple of seconds, and then it will display the message that will ask for the ransom. So within like 3 or 4 seconds now, it will display that not warning, that the message from the hacker. So yeah, Yes. So here it displays the message. I don't know if you can see, but there is the message written in green, but since I'm filtering the green color, it doesn't show. So it says you need to pay some ransom, and here you can click on this to see the list of files that have been encrypted. Okay, so you have a timer here, and after the timer reaches 0, one file will be deleted, and it will show you here the file that will be the first one here. Then if you don't pay the ransom, it will delete, and the timer will reach 0 a second time. It will delete not only one file, it will delete 2 files, and then it will delete 4 files, so it will go exponential. Okay, this is to add pressure on the victim to pay. And if you shut down or stop this process, it will delete 1,000 files at once. Okay, so for example, now it reached the first deadline. So if you go here, you have 1 file have been deleted. So when we say yes, sir, it's files that have been deleted. So it's as simple as this. So this machine has been infected, and there is nothing that can be done at this stage. Okay. Now, if we go to now back to the WannaCry, WannaCry is a particular type of ransomware that did a lot of damage. So ransomware were around since a couple of years now, but what made WannaCry do a lot of that much damage? Okay, so the first reason that made WannaCry so dangerous is the way of propagation. Typical malware or typical ransomware will use social engineering, basically send a malicious file to the victim with malicious attachments, etc., or malicious links. Okay. Now, WannaCry, it does something else. WannaCry, it uses a Windows vulnerability on the SMB protocol. SMB protocol is a protocol used by Windows to share resources and share printers, shares folders, etc. Now, there is a weakness, there is vulnerability on that protocol that has been discovered by the US NSA. And the NSA designed 2 exploits, Eternal Blue and Double Pulsar. Those exploits have been revealed in WikiLeaks, and WannaCry developers took those exploits and used them in their attack. And this basically exploit will prevent having those show up messages or windows appearing when you launch the program. This is unlike what we saw in jigsaw ransomware. Okay. Now, the other thing which is special with WannaCry, it installs backdoor, and it will try to have a remote access on the victims. Okay, so it might open the camera, it might do plenty of things. It has remote access on the victim. The other special thing, it requires payment with Bitcoin, which is not that special because a lot of all recent ransomware they do that. Okay, now once you are infected, one question is, how can you remove the malware? The good news is it is easy to remove. The ransomware is easy to remove, but the more important question is, are the encrypted documents recoverable? Can you retrieve back your encrypted documents? The bad news is that the answer is no. You cannot retrieve back your documents unless you pay. Okay, which is not recommended, of course, by antivirus any product and solutions. Okay, now how to stop WannaCry? The first thing to stop WannaCry is do not open malicious file and click links, etc., and malicious links, which is valid for all types of malware to resist against social engineering attacks. Particularly for WannaCry, to avoid infections, you need to patch your Windows with this patch, MS17010. And basically, Microsoft now issued this patch I think in March. And most of Windows are patched against this vulnerability. If by chance automatic update is turned off in your machine, you are still at risk. This is what does it mean. The radical way to remove the risk for WannaCry is to block SMB protocol, so port 445, and of course this comes with side effects. Okay. But there is one interesting way to stop WannaCry, which is a kill switch. A kill switch is a feature in malware that helps stop the propagation of the malware. In the case of WannaCry, it is a website. WannaCry will try to connect to this website which does not exist. Okay, so if it fails, it will execute. If it fails to reach that website, it will execute the malware. If it succeeds, the ransomware will not execute. You notice here it doesn't make sense. How can you reach a website that does not exist? Okay, so the rationale behind that, the explanation is that WannaCry tries to avoid what we call sandboxing. And sandboxing is a security feature that tries to tell if a file is malicious or clean. Okay, now sandboxing will, when it tries to analyze a malware and it sees that it tries to reach a website, it will simulate communication with that website, even if that website does not exist. Okay, and this is how WannaCry can detect the sandboxing. Okay, and so the consequence of this is that if you want to stop WannaCry, you should not block access to this fake website. Okay. Now, the final thing I want to show you here, I want to show you, as I showed you what happens with jigsaw ransomware, I want to show you what happens with WannaCry. Once you get infected with the WannaCry, what will happen in your system. So this is another machine that is clean now, and I will show you what happens when it's here. When WannaCry infects the machine. So notice very well what's going on. So when I double click on WannaCry, no warning message is happening. This is because of the SMB vulnerability, and right away WannaCry will start encrypting files. So the PDFs will be encrypted, everything will be encrypted. Okay, and it will ask for ransom. There is a message that appears here, but even if you click on no, is still the malware is still running. Okay, now it is encrypting file, and in a couple of seconds it will show you the warning message asking you to pay the ransom. So it will come in, so this is the message. Now you are done, all the files are encrypted, and you have the timer, you have the Bitcoin address where you need to pay, and if you don't pay, it starts deleting file after a while. Okay, so this is it for this video. I hope that you see now the potential damage of ransomware, and I hope that ransomware will be still around for the next years. Okay, so now you are warned. Okay, thanks for watching, and we will have other videos in the next few days, and stay safe basically. See you.